But today I'm going to be talking a little bit about portfolio. As you see on the page, just a couple seconds. Just really quick about me though. Again, I'm Steve Puertas. I'm an industrial designer by profession. I went to BYU. I graduated in 2015, so not that long ago, almost 5 years ago, I guess. I was the non-traditional student because I already had a family, so I was working full-time but going to school part-time. So it took me double the time, but eventually I did. Going to design school is hard work, regardless of your situation, but it's fun. It's just too much fun, and so that's what I love. Growing up, I always liked to draw, I liked to sketch, I liked to play with Legos, probably up to you. And so I discovered industrial design when I was going to Provo High School as a student, because we were just across the road. We went on a senior trip, and I saw all these cool car renderings, and I never thought I could do that, because it's so cool. But eventually I went to BYU, and I tried it out, and I fell in love with it. And so did some school projects back in the day. After graduating, I went to work for a company called Little Giant Ladders in Springdale, here in Utah. A fun company, a lot of innovation going on with their ladders. They're doing, they're really leaders in the industry when it comes to multi-purpose type ladders. They want to extend into A-frames, and you can change different lengths. But I only worked there for, I knew I wasn't going to be there for too long, so I started looking for a new job. I ended up here in town. I work for Blackstone Products. It's a company that does everything and anything outdoors, so cooking, outdoor cooking. We mainly do griddles, but we also do grills, charcoal, gas. We have a pizza oven, and a lot of accessories lately. So we do a lot of sketches. Even our work is still really predominant in the field. So a lot of you in the future, when you become professional designers, you're going to be doing a ton of sketches, whether it's on paper or digital. And this is just some few sketches that I've done on work. A lot of the concepts that I do typically start on paper. I work with 3 other full-time industrial designers, so it's all preference. I have a guy who does everything on paper, but he's got a Wacom tablet, which is a digital screen, and he also just likes to sketch on that, usually more refined sketches. Another guy does an iPad Pro, so it's just preference. There's just some of the samples of how I have a concept, put it on paper, and refine it, and then that can be translated into a product. And just really quick, we have some of our values of work. We do products that are, share these values across the board. They're adaptable, they're approachable, they're easy to use. And my favorite part is Connection, which is a product that like a griddle, for example, when you start using it, it's so much fun that you want to share it with other people. It's something that you don't see out there in too many products. Automatically, it shows that experience of wanting to share that with others. So like it says there, we just love to bring people together through a product. So we're really, when we design things, we try to focus about the experience. And we really want to say that we design experiences instead of products. Okay, so now we're going to talk about portfolios. I think a lot of you are freshmen and sophomores, most of you. And so it's a really good time to start thinking about portfolios, whatever it may be. I think you're working on a freshman level portfolio, sophomore level portfolio for the professional program. As you get into the program, you're going to be working on another portfolio for your professional careers. So this portfolio is going to be part of your life for now. Very important, because you can't really get a job without a portfolio. I mean, if you're in the creative field, like design, product design, in your portfolio, just like photography is in your portfolio, graphic design is in your portfolio. So if you're an engineer, you don't necessarily need a portfolio, but if you're an engineer with a portfolio, that would definitely be an extra bonus. So for product designers, definitely portfolio is something that you're going to need starting now. As freshmen. This is what this man named Heracles said. A man who cannot communicate his ideas is on the same plane as one who has no ideas. And I agree. Just like in your portfolio, you show everything, anything that has to do with the way you think, the way your work ethics, your values as a designer. Everything's laid out for everyone to see. In this case, a hiring manager or your dream job will see that. And this is up to you to make sure that you communicate your ideas regularly on the portfolio. So really quick, just portfolio equals skills, that process, big one. When you look at portfolios, either for a full-time job, someone's applying to my company, or an internship. These are the things I look through. When I see sketches, for example, there's an ideation page, we call it. That's the way for me to know how this person thinks. And so that process, value, and it shows you're passionate about something. Sometimes you don't have to do things that you require in class and put in your. You can do personal things too. I mean, if you have a Kickstarter project or you're doing something on your own, you're working as a freelancer. I mean, those things so that you're passionate about. You like. I mean, I know a lot of you like outdoors, obviously, and so if you always wanted to decide on snowboard, I mean, if you're passionate about it, you might want to think about doing something like that too. It will help you. Okay, so now with the portfolio aspect, starting with the title, and the title only in this case. So you don't have to pay too much attention to the pictures, but just the title of your project. Now, keep in mind this is just, from an industrial design background. What I've seen a lot of portfolios out there, and I've tried to do the same on my own portfolio, is that, if you're gonna, adding a creative title. So if you're gonna do, for example, if you're gonna do a project that is, a water bottle, please don't call it a water bottle. Think about think about a creative and a creative name that will connect to this project, right? So in this case, over there, this project is called Daily Addiction. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't flipped the page right, but it might be something that had to do with how to buy coffee. I don't know, but it's just intriguing, right? It's just clever. It's unique, whatever. This one, I don't know what that is either. It says reverb, and it's kind of cool because it kind of it ties with what the design is. So something along those terms. And try to be creative. It's like that. A hook. Trying to hook like when you're fishing. Hook fish. Okay, so now along the same terms, over here we have the initial page, right? So the initial page, what would that be? Well, you can do many different things for that page. I've seen a lot of designers do like a big close-up of what the final design would be, like on the bottom over there. It doesn't really tell you much about it. You don't know what it is. All you can see is just a really close-up of this really rich material. Right? You have aluminum, you have leather, and rich wood. So it's something about it that these rich materials intrigue you to turn the page and keep finding out more. It's just a good combo. Over here, this one is called, this is actually from class, from my class, a student from my class. He called it a spanker. It's a ping pong. It's a ping pong paddle. Now, you know, and he has to do ping pong, and you look at this big thing, and it's just creative. You know, it's different. So you want to be, you want to think about this. You know, you don't want to put like your water bottle right there. You know, you want to save that, but or you don't want to say things, you know, that sound boring. Just be creative. Get the audience or the reader, the hiring manager, intrigued about what you're doing, and you'll be doing pretty good. Now, there's also what's called a project brief or a design brief. It could be important. It's actually important. A lot of the designs you have in your portfolio are more extensive, and maybe they require more research in them. They're more, maybe it's your best design there, you put it at the very beginning. Design brief is just a way for you to show that really briefly, really descriptive, really simple. But one of the things like over here in this sample, this is pretty good, where you can see, you know, if you were to browse over, it's easy to read. But I probably wouldn't spend too much time over here, even though it looks pretty clean. But over there also is a good example of what design brief should be. So it's something just quick and simple of describing this project. I mean, if it's a group project, this will be a good point to mention it. Because if you're working with maybe 2 or 3 other classmates, you really want to make sure who were the participants in this project, and also be ready to talk about what your role was in the project. Because they're going to ask you, if it was a group project, please give credit to all of them and don't take credit for yourself. So be honest. Okay, so project exploration. This is more of also keep going in the research part, where you have a project where you want to do some field market research, and you want to, and after you do a lot of studies, and you want to put in the paper. Those are some good examples in doing that. Also, at the same time, just like before, in design brief, just be simple, not too descriptive. This is pretty good right here, where it's easy to read. You want to read from left to right? Big letters over here is also pretty good. I might never read like all these details because of the lack of time, right? If you have a lot of applicants and you're busy at work and you only have so much time to look at portfolios. So I'm more of a visual guy. I like to see what's out there, so I tend to see the images more. If I'm intrigued about the images, then I might read a little bit here, just some key words over here, and then move on. But this is also a good place where you can put your, if you have data, if you find very important data and you want to portray it out, this is where, I think this is where you put your, here, the solution to a problem. So each project in your portfolio should be a solution to a problem. This is where you want to state your problem to. I think I actually had this page just for that. And again, if it's just a water bottle, if it's just another backpack, and there's maybe not a new innovation, or it's not really fixing an issue that's it's been out there for a long time. This is maybe what you want to consider when you're doing it, or think about what this project should be. I'm talking about like professional level too, right? So this is what I'm looking at. So here is some good examples of how to portray that. Now, a lot of you probably are on Pinterest. That's a really good source for inspiration. You can create pretty nice visual mood boards. Pinterest is pretty big. We use a lot of work. We have different different mood boards there for different categories of what we do. And also, since you're students, feel free to just put a board, you know, if it's a foam core board or something like that, and just print pages and take them and just have all of these inspirational pictures there. Now, when we talk about inspiration too, I mean, you might be designing a backpack. You don't necessarily have to be looking at other backpacks from other companies or designers. You can be inspired literally from anything in the world, right? It could be nature, it could be furniture, it could be anything. So as long as the key features you want, or the aesthetic features you want to translate into the final design are there, so it should be good. But Pinterest is a good way. I love Pinterest. Sketching is still really big in your portfolio. A lot of companies, a lot of managers would like to see the way you sketch. Not necessarily because they want to see, oh, you're a sketch master or something. They just want to see the way you think. Very most important. Because doing the sketching is a good way to interact with them and track, and that's how you portray your thought process as well. And sketching, in my case, is sketching, like you said, I teach sketching class. It's been one of the parts of my portfolio that I had tricked many people. I mean, I lack in other parts of my portfolio, like layout or research or wherever it may be. But my strengths, like sketching and other things, help me, getting reviews, help me get a job eventually. So just think about that. Just understanding the basic principles of sketching and will help you portray the way you think on paper. And this is another sketching example. This is a sketch from Chris Hanks. He's my co-worker. Prototyping. You know a lot of prototyping, right? So are you doing, let's see, are you taking sewing classes already? Yes. Sweet. Now, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to raise your hand or ask. For prototyping, I'll say it's really key in your portfolio. Just like sketching, it also shows the way that you think. To be honest, prototyping, I don't think no one's probably going to hire you because you can prototype, I guess, pretty good. I have to be careful here because I don't know soft kits, I don't know pretty good soft kits and everything. But right here you have the backpack. I mean, you can be creative and use paper and do really nice backpacks by hand and foam cores. So prototype like crazy. If you got 3D, I mean, I've seen your labs and you have a lot of 3D prints. That's a good way to do it too. But yeah, show your prototypes in your portfolio. Try to be clean also, like this stage where it's shown. Maybe it's a good, what do you call this, display where it looks pretty clean. It's not just like thrown on the table and you just take a picture. So, and it's actually, it has a nice white background. So it's easy to see the details on the prototypes. To be honest, like I said, so that it shows your dedication. It really does. You can tell if you really were passionate about what you were doing because of the high fidelity details that you see in the prototypes. And if you see over here, I mean, they went into great efforts to put some really good details in this foam prototype, which I would appreciate if I saw that in the portfolio. And then if you have Kisha, that will be a good tool to start doing renderings of your 3D models. Kisha is pretty big, pretty standard in the industry. So if you haven't played with Kisha, this is a good way. I know you have it available in the shop. in the computer lab. So, and this is another one. So far, I've been showing samples of student work or from people who used to, when they did this were students, so that you can relate that. These are the samples for student level work as they try to get ready the professional portfolio. Okay, so you're doing some 3D modeling. You have features in SolidWorks to do maybe an exploded view, or if you're doing like Rhino, I'm pretty sure you're going to do the same. Illustrator work, this is, there's a tech path over there. Just try to be very descriptive to the details. There's an instructional page. It's really good. It's really good to show all these different parts of the portfolio, so that we can, hiring manager can see how dedicated you were in doing these pages. Shows a really high level of detail. And pictures, yeah. So pictures. I know you have phones. I know you all have using a phone for a final. This is what we call a money shot page. Wouldn't be the best. I would actually, get a Canon or one of those professional cameras. If you're not a professional photographer, yes. If you're, ask a friend. You probably know anybody, someone who is really good at taking pictures and take some really nice pictures and put them in your portfolio for the final design, for the money shot, and instead of you don't have to be you don't have to take your own nice pictures on your own field. You can always ask for help, but do your best to do this because this is the final. Usually this will be the final page of your project. This is where you want to see all the last details of it. And this is just another way of being creative. You can also show context. That means, maybe using a person in the image so you can demonstrate a good sense of proportion on the products that you're making. So, the backpack, you can just come out and take pictures with the model using the backpack. Same thing with the chair concept. This will just help that, for one, that you actually did a life size concept, prototype, final concept. So, like I said, it gives you a good sense of proportion, size, and feel. Okay, so now we're going to go for some more tips for how to be successful in your portfolio. Okay, so telling stories. Just think about when you're doing your portfolio, just think about when you're reading a book, like a children's book, for example. So, if you're reading it to your child, if you have a chat, so it's fun to read. And many times when I'm done reading, my kids want me to keep going because they're so into it, they just don't want it to stop. Just like watching a good movie, right? So just think along those terms when you're trying to tell a story. Has to have a nice beginning and a nice end and be a good transition. These are some sketches from another co-worker. Okay, so just think about what your strengths are. My strengths, like I said earlier, might have been sketching, even prototyping. And so think about your strengths. Your strengths might be, if you're a 3D modeler, if you're, very good products are really good, aesthetically, and want to take good pictures and emphasizing that. think about what the strengths are and try to emphasize that in your portfolio. Because people will be calling you for an interview because you're showing off those strengths. And it's all about process. Like I said many times already, process through, so the industrial design, product design, process, different phases. You want to show as much of it as possible, right? So I show the way you think, like here, the sketches on paper. When you show your prototypes, when you show the 3D modeling, renderings and all that. But it's all about process, and it's all about the way you think, and it's all about it's all about this thought process that will help you, get an interview. Okay, so if you don't have an Instagram account, I guess you should start now, right? Instagram, I think you probably all do, but you don't have design Instagram, I guess I should say. That would be now that you're freshmen or sophomores, a good way to expose yourself, to share your work, network. Many times, remember, like it says here, your product, right? You want to put yourself out there, you want to put your work out there, have an online presence. LinkedIn, if you don't have LinkedIn, create it now. It's time to start now with networking, because by the time you're seniors or junior seniors ready to start applying for jobs, you have this big network of professionals. Start contacting, messaging, and taking them out for lunch, or just get to know people that way. If you have an Instagram where you can show your prototypes, your projects, and your sketches. It's nice for someone who's hiring to go to that page and see what else you've been doing, right? So maybe your portfolio wasn't enough, and maybe wanted to see a little bit more, see what you do when you design Instagram, see more sketches or whatever. I might see a picture of you working at 3 in the morning here in the lab, and I'll be like, oh, this guy, he's a hard worker. And fonts, I guess, there's good samples of good fonts, very simple. I don't think you have to be a graphic designer to have a really nice, simple, easy to read portfolio. In fact, if you're a graphic designer, I probably want to recommend doing graphics all over the place and go crazy about it. Because really, the portfolio is all about what the content of your right, your project itself. So I don't think you be hired because you can do good layouts and crazy graphics in your pages. Really hired because of the work content. So simple is always good. So I know it's very common. Okay, so this iceberg over there, you see your tip of it. I don't know, I guess that would be like 50% or so of the work. So this whole iceberg kind of represents your 4 years of design school, right? So not everything's going to go in your portfolio. It's only a little bit of all your work that you're going to be doing in design school that's going to go in your portfolio. And that's going to be the very best of your work. Okay? So, just remember that, very best, that you feel proud of. Some of these studio projects, because they tend to be almost, I'm guessing they are like semester-long projects, or they think weeks-long projects. Maybe a personal project there will be cool. I mean, that's up to you. As long as it's the best of your work, I wouldn't put it just a sketch page or something, and that will be it. So it has to be pretty complete. Oh, so you've probably seen this guy when around social media. His name is Jim Thorpe. He is, or he was, a gold medalist. I guess first Native American to be gold medalist in track and field back in the early 1900s. Now, if you see in the picture over there on the right side, there's something different about it because you see he's got shoes, running shoes. Well, what happened is that I guess he woke up one day when he was supposed to compete for the gold medal, and I guess his shoes disappeared. I don't know, I think they got stolen. And so instead of freaking out and going crazy, I mean, he took it easy and started looking for new shoes somewhere, and he found this pair of shoes in the trash bag, in the trash container. So, but they were different shoes. So yeah, luckily he found on the right, left and the right side. And over there, I think the left side was a different size, so he had to use an extra sock. So what this says is, and well, he also went and competed and got the gold medal. And I think it was a high jump. So, and he got all the, I mean, he was so good. But you know, it's a good story. I mean, when I was applying for a job, it wasn't an easy thing. It's not as easy as it sounds. I mean, that's why I didn't do too much networking, almost zero. So I did networking after I graduated, basically, because I already had a job with the giant ladders. So I knew I was going to be working with them for a few more months, or at least a year or so. But so I didn't have strong. So applying, you know, I was getting interviews, but I wasn't getting a job offer. Like if that was going to get so fast, and there was a process. It wasn't quick and easy to work. And so, you know, discouragement happens, right? It's just natural. But in times of difficulties, we need to think more like Jim Thorpe, right? So eventually, it's a lot of, you know, frustrations. I was thinking a little bit more like Jim Thorpe, so maybe give me a little bit more confidence as I was trying to interview and believe in myself. There's another story here too with J.K. Rowling. She got, you know, I got dozens of times for her work, you know, her manuscripts of Harry Potter. But that didn't stop her, right? She believed in her work. Eventually, you know, it got published. Now she's a billionaire. So, you know, I think you just gotta believe in your work and be passionate about it. You'll be good. So, I think typically 15, 20 pages, 20 pages. That's what I have in my own portfolio. 10 max. You really need to watch out for that because there's a lot of mistakes happening from what I've been reading, or you know, is that a lot of job posts actually are very descriptive, and they say we want this amount, this size of, you know, file, and so please follow those, because if they ask for a 5 meg and you send them a 20 meg or whatever, they're not gonna like that. Or they might not even see your portfolio because you didn't like it. So I would recommend having different size portfolios so that are available at a moment's time, at a moment's notice. And then now that you have phones, right? This is a day and age, all of them have phones. We have a camera in that phone. Get used to, as you do your work, always taking a moment and take pictures of everything you do. Prototypes, sketches, document. Everything. So, because you never know when you're going to need it. You don't know, I mean, you probably at this point, if you're doing, I think you might be taking some classes, you're doing bags, and just take pictures, just get used to take pictures, because as you apply for a professional program, as you apply for a professional job later, it's a good habit to have a bank of pictures that you can use in your portfolio. And maybe it's not part of a project. This is just a picture of just a good way that I was thinking. But this is not a picture, but I had something similar like that. But this is a picture of a classmate that was doing the same project I was. And so it just shows that we're doing some research, whatever it may be. Okay, so learn how to talk about your work. So, you know, it's not all about portfolios, right? If you get an interview for an internship, for a job, you need to talk about your work, you know, right? It's not over. So you need to know your work, you need to be passionate about your work, you need to know very every single detail of your work, and even down to the materials that you'll be using in your project. You know, if you're doing a backpack, you're ready to talk about what kind of materials you're using. So canvas, I don't know, ripstop, whatever it may be. Just, you know, if it's a group project, like I said, you're ready to talk about the involvement in it. If you had struggles during the project and you didn't know what to do, you know, show that in the portfolio and you're ready to talk about it. It's actually a good thing to talk about when you were stuck in the project and what you did to fix it instead of hiding it. If you're like, they call it the elevator pitch or talk, and you're like going down an elevator and there's the CEO of Fetch or whatever. And you have 30 seconds, right? So 30-second pitch of your work. So you know, talk about yourself and your work. So InDesign is actually what I recommend for creating your portfolio. It's pretty easy. I mean, if you don't use InDesign too much, you can learn some YouTube tutorials. It's a good way to do good layouts, you know, do like great grids and, you know, the rule of thirds. Just then, once you have a nice layout in your portfolio, it's really easy to read. It's really clean looking. And that's, I really highly recommend InDesign. When I was looking for a job, like I said, I was working for Legion Ladders, and one of my co-workers did a 3D print of a little ladder. And what I decided to do is just grab that 3D print and make it into a mold and just cast a bunch of them with this glow-in-the-dark plastic. And it's kind of cool. So I attached my portfolio with it. I mean, I had the portfolio in a flash drive, and I attached it to a ladder. And so I would just drive around Utah. I mean, I came all the way to Loveland to leave my portfolio that way. I talked to Blackstone Products, one of the other companies. And every time I did that, they always reply. They always send an email because they have my resume there, I have everything. And you know, I have pretty good reviews. I really impressed them that I took the time to drive and be personable that way. They remember me. You know, if I'm looking for your coffee, they remember me, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is the guy who gave me a ladder." I don't know. Definitely a good impact just getting this job, because that put me at the top of the list. So if you can think about similar things that you can do to be creative as you're looking for opportunities. Like I said, I mean, if you want to have an internship at Black Diamond, you know, figure out who the design manager is there. Connect with them, meet them, and ask them for some feedback, or if you want to go out for coffee or something. Networking is key. Yeah, like I said. Yeah, if you have time, this is basically what I said just a few moments ago. You have people come to this industry seminars. You know, get to know them. If someone comes from industry, you're very interested in working full time there in life. You know, get to know them, exchange information, link up on LinkedIn. Then you can, ask for the business cards. Then you can send your portfolio later in the future when you're working on your professional portfolio and ask for feedback and ask him for the stats and see what things you can improve on. But that's just part of networking. Just get to know the professionals around here. Ask if you need help. Chase, he's got pretty good contacts. Push around with it. Keep it simple. Your portfolio, it's really hard to keep it simple. It's the hardest thing. You really want, you start working your portfolio, you want to make it simple. It's like any project. But that's really, I think it's one of the most important things, just keeping it simple. It's all about the content, not about all these crazy graphics or all of that. You really want to have nice pictures, you want to have nice data. Yes, you want to have a nice layout, but just simple, easy to read. But I know it's the hardest thing, so getting feedback also. There's like a few students here. Some of you, but ask each other for feedback on your own work. Ask your married, your spouse, or your parents. Ask your friends. Don't be afraid. Just ask your fellow classmates. You need to be getting used to getting feedback. A lot of what you do as a professional is you critique your portfolio. Your work on a constant basis, daily. Someone's always critiquing your work, so you have to get used to critique. You have to allow people to critique your work and show the mistakes or show where you can improve, or not be so uptight. It's through be open to other people's perspectives. And again, portfolio is always a working project. When I was working on my own portfolio, I was never satisfied. Even when I was applying, I felt like it wasn't enough. It's a little work, so I was never satisfied about it. And so that's a good thing, I think. That's a good thing to never be satisfied, because your portfolio should always be a work in progress. So I've been working for Blackstone Products for over 2 years now, and so I should be updating my portfolio with the stuff I've been doing now, right? So in these past 2 years, so I should have things for Blackstone. So when you were after you work as a professional for a few years, eventually you want to have just professional projects instead of student projects. I don't know where I would say maybe no more than 10 years before you want to have. After 10 years or so, we don't have school projects anymore. So it never ends. It's always a work in progress. And then if you have Instagram, like I said before, you want to be following people that you admire. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you already do, but. There's some people out there who are really good at sketching, and that's a good place to be getting inspiration from. There's a style, if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of resources there. Your friends, you can be looking at someone here in one of your classes, you love the way they do things, and learn from them. See how they do things. Sometimes I look to my classmates and I learn from them, and I do things that they did. You really are copying them because they do like what they're doing. So that's an okay thing to do. You're really copying who you think are your design heroes. And then Behance will be a good place to start. Behance is free online portfolio site. I would recommend Behance. There's Caraflow too. Caraflow is also free. Behance is my favorite. Just be out there. If I was to type your name on Google, would I see your Behance page right there on top, or work, sketches. Just make sure that to put yourself out there. Instagram again, like I said. Websites, personal websites could be good too. Square One is a good one, but it's it's not free. You pay for it, but it has a pretty cool feel. So I use that for a job, but you don't have to. A lot of my, a couple of my friends from the class, they're doing just fine with Behance. One of my co-workers, when he applied to my job, the link was just from Behance, so it's just fine. Might be even easier to do the Behance page than a PDF portfolio. That might be changing the word. You just send in a link to your website or Behance page or something like that, instead of just sending a PDF. It's just so much easier. Then doing something you're passionate about. I know a lot of you love the outdoors. A lot of you snowboard or skate or go camping. So this is a good place to start. Do something that you're passionate about in your portfolio. Show that passion. If it's a personal project that will show, I definitely will show that you're passionate about something. And then just remember that the goal of your portfolio is to land an interview. It's not to get a job. The job will be after the interview. The job will be after you once you get an interview. So all you're doing, all this work that you put into a portfolio is precisely to get you to be sitting next to a hiring manager. And then you're really hired for two reasons: your ideas and your personality. Because when you work, you're probably going to be, most likely, you're going to be working in a team setting with other designers or engineers. So it's always going to be, people are always looking for the right fit, right? So if you're working for another industry, another company, you're probably going to be someone who's really outgoing, because it's the other industry. So you're looking for a good match personality, and also ideas, obviously, like we talked about. So the way that you think, how awesome your ideas are. That's it. Thank you. Do you have any questions?